Alrighty, what's good? It is 1:40 in the morning right now, and I got bored. So I thought might as well rank all the poker players of all time, right? I'm mainly looking at like the greats and a lot of the social media people, you know. So that's who we're gonna be ranking. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay. First off, we're looking at Frankie C. Obviously, internet personality. Frankie C, with his last name being C, we're going to automatically just put him in C tier. This, to get this out of the way, we're going to be mainly looking at cash games specifically. And the framework I'll be looking at this is how good do I think they are in a cash game setting, and how much would I like to play with them. So like, if someone's really good, I obviously wouldn't want to play with them. If someone's terrible, I'd want to play with them. So sometimes, like, we'll move on to Nick Airball for this next example because I don't think Nick Airball's that great, but I really wouldn't want to play with him because he's going to put some crazy node locks and just run some sick ones in really big spots that I don't really want to face. But with that being said, I don't think he's, like, that much better than Frankie C. But just for the fear factor of playing with Nick Airball and him just wanting probably would just pile $500,000 in your face, I'm probably going to begin him in B tier, especially because there's like words out that he obviously like advertises in some of these live stream games, and I'm sure he's playing a little bit better poker behind the scenes. Next up, Jungle Man. We're going to begin Jungle Man at A tier, pretty self-explanatory. Dude's a crusher. I don't think we're gonna be looking at S tier yet, but we're definitely an A tier category with him. I mean, it's Jungle Man. Like, look at some of his heads up spots he gets into. Like, I'm not gonna play with him. Rampage. It's obvious where Rampage is going. We're going straight to F. I feel bad for him because I feel like, especially in his recent stuff, he's actually trying to hone in all the punts. But if you saw the vlog that he just posted of him in like Phil Hellmuth's game, he's also just kind of running into it, but is also making like minor punts at the same time. Still gonna throw him in F tier. Like, if you got a call, say, hey, we got a 5-10 game tonight, Rampage is gonna be there. You're there in a matter's notice, dude. Like, you're there. So we're putting Rampage in F tier. Ryan DePaulo. I think he's actually a fantastic tournament player. Whenever I'm watching his vlogs, listening to his thought process in his tournaments, I think it's fantastic. When it comes to cash games, things get a little shaky. Like he did the coin poker, like high stakes one with all the, like Linus and all them, and he actually did all right, but it just looked a little bit shaky. I'm gonna put him right behind Nick Airball for right now. I think he's a better cash game player than Frankie C. It's definitely close. Like, Frankie could easily go up there, but I'm going to keep Frankie in C right now. We got Doug. Doug's just going straight up to S tier for me. Number one, I would never want to play against him. He's going to put you in the grossest spots. Obviously, I don't feel like people talk about live tells as much anymore, at least compared as like the olden days. But I'm pretty sure he's got some gross live tells up his sleeve. Like, you don't just like win the WSOP heads up championship without having some gross live tells and all that jazz. Anyways, I would never want to play them in a heads up setting or a ring game. I think he's just going to put you in gross spots, and he's not scared to go for it in any spot. And he's just obviously knowledgeable about the game. Like, some of the theory stuff he gets into is just absurd. Next, we're going to another GOAT, Patrick Antonius. I feel like any time that I'm playing poker inside a casino, a home game, and I turn to the TV and I see Antonius in a Triton cash game, he's just already in like a 5-bet pot tripling off with like 10 high, and he's getting it through. Just an absolute animal. I'm going to put Patrick actually in front of Doug because I think Patrick is on slightly a higher wavelength than Doug is. But what do I know? I just grind 1-2 online. Anyways, Mariano. Geez. I want to put Mariano in A tier, but he's gonna end up in late A tier. I think he is obviously one of the better players on the Hustler live stream, but at the same time, like, when have you seen Mariano in a lineup with like more than like 2 competent players? Like, it's easy to just sound like a crusher when you're playing. Oh, what's that one guy's name? Anyways, insert any name from Hustler livestream. Just, you're obviously going to be beating the game for what, like 15 big blinds if you're playing against Hustler droolers. On to the next one. Our man Brad Owen. This one pains me to say, but I'm actually going to put Brad in low C tier. He might get moved down to D. Brad's cash game is so atrocious to watch. So atrocious to watch on his vlogs nowadays. Brad put me on poker. Brad taught me the ways. Brad taught me how to check back the turn for pot control. That was Brad. But now Brad just punts. He just takes ace queen versus like a tight reg and 5 bets in, runs into aces. Go look at his latest vlog. It's bad. It's hard to watch. He's way too deep into theory land in some of these games, and I think he's in really good games. I think whatever, like the game with him and Matt Berkey that I think are running, like I'm pretty sure he's just playing with like rich whales, and he's still not beating the game because he's just like 5 betting ace jack and just running into it. Like obviously the recreational is going to 4 bet aces, like they just have it. Anyways, so Brad just used to be the man, but his cash game vlogs are so hard to watch. I think he's a significantly better tournament player, but yeah, the cash is just a no-go. Greg goes all in. Speaking of Hungry Horse, we'll get to next. He just posted the Solve for Why, and Hungry Horse Marcoon reviewed the Solve for Why Thinking Out Loud video. And I felt like Greg was like half competent. And listening to Greg trying to figure out the pot size for about 30 seconds every single street. He says, all right, the pot size. He thought about it for 30 seconds and then just thought of the most brain dead, like he jammed on a one-liner to a queen. He like faced an overbet on the river and jammed just a raw queen, second nut straight into the double nuts ace queen. It's just such a hard watch. And his thought process the whole way was atrocious. And I thought he was like gonna be like here or here. After watching that, it's just he's last on the list. It's not close. Andrew Nemi, I've actually played with Andrew Nemi once on the Lodge live stream. At first, I thought Andrew Nemi was just like kind of a tight reg, kind of just getting by. And then I saw Andrew do a couple things on the live that just blew my mind away. Like a decent reg, like check raise the river into 3 people, and Nemi called off with the nut low flush, just like in a pure just like fold any flush ball. Like this guy has the nuts, and he called and he was right, and I was just like, wow, this dude knows something I don't. So I'm going to bump Nemi right above Ryan over here, and I think he fits just nice and snug right there. Hungry Horse, I think his content's just phenomenal. He just is teaching all these droolers actually how to get better, and it's really hurting the pool, especially the live pool. If you go to any live game, just everyone's checking range now, out of position. Like it's a disaster. They're getting good at the game, all because of this guy. I wouldn't want to play with him in any game. I think he's just gonna exploit the nuts out of me. I do think he deserves to be in front of Mariano. I definitely do think that. And he might even need to be in front of Jungle Man, but I'm not going to do that to Jungle Man yet. Because it's one thing to teach, it's another thing to do. And I haven't seen Marcoon playing a cash game in maybe 4 years. So he's going to stay right behind Jungle Man, because Jungle Man is at least putting himself out in the arena. I haven't seen Marcoon do that. Bart Hansen, the GOAT. GOAT. I think I grinded his call-in shows for like 3 hours every night for like 3 months when I was first getting into poker, and it just really helped me out. Like shout out Bart, dude. I first initially had these listed as like Crusher, Good Reg, Bad Reg, Fish, Whale. And he's the definition of like a good reg right here. Where to fit him in specifically in these slots? Sometimes I think Bart's play is a little too plain, and then sometimes I think Mariano's play is a little too fancy, obviously. So depending on the lineup, like these two could interchange. Like if Bart's playing with a bunch of regs, Bart's probably going to win and Mario's going to lose against the regs. But I think Mariano's going to be able to exploit the nuts out of the recreationals way more. And Bart might make some passive mistakes against the recreationals. I'm still... Oh, this one's kind of hard. I think I'm going to put Bart right here. This looks good for Bart. I like this so far. Comment below if you would change anything. Okay, on to the next one. Charlie Carroll. Another one like Hungry Horse. It's one thing to teach, it's another thing to do. And I haven't seen Charlie step on a fell in a couple of years. But when you're watching his stuff and he's saying things about the hand or someone's thought process, you're just like, wow, this guy's intelligent as shit. Like, he knows what he's talking about. For the fact that I haven't seen Charlie on the fell in forever, but I really like what he does, I think he's also going to go into A tier. I think A tier is gonna land a lot of players. Jeez, Jungle might go S tier. Jungle's going to go S tier. Everyone else gets bumped up. That looks way better. I think that's what needed to happen. The next, we actually have every Club GG player ever. If you are looking to play against the bad players, message me on Telegram. And you can, too, play against the F tier GG players as well. That, again, message me on Telegram. Hendoggy 2Ys. Message me. Play with F tier poker players. Next, Phil Ivey. I don't think Phil Ivey's cash game is that good. I did the due diligence and I went back to high stakes poker and I grinded out a couple hours just watching some Phil Ivey highlights. I don't think he did anything that spectacular. Like, I don't think he was doing things that were like, whoa, like he knows something we don't. With that being said, he's still the GOAT of poker, but I don't think he's the GOAT of cash games. I think he's a way better tournament player. From what I saw in high stakes poker and in recent streams, like I would literally put him like right here. But at the same time, I don't think his card distribution has been that good in the past years. Like I haven't seen him in like huge pots when he gets on live streams. And I don't think that's maybe his fault. Like right now I want to put him right here, and maybe that's just preposterous of me. So I'm going to move him to the top of A. We're going to move him to the top of A, but I actually don't like it that much. But I like Phil Ivey. I just don't think he's just a super crusher cash game player. Phil. Good old Phil, man. Probably the tournament GOAT, right? Cash game wise, atrocious. And it's a hard watch on top of that. Like, just watching him, like, flat a 3-bet with queens, on a live stream versus just like a beluga whale that's like 3-betting any two, like just rings my ears to watch. We're gonna have Phil be our first D ranking. I think that's perfect because he's like not punting. Like F tier is just punting and C tier is like bad reg, and he's just kind of like he's just a fish in the water. This is where D tier is. Like he's just out there. He's not gonna do anything too spectacular. Like he's just playing his hand. He'll play it face up for you. Daniel Negreanu. Also a cash game ghost in the recent years. All I see is old videos of him playing high stakes poker and some tournaments nowadays. I think his tournament game is phenomenal. I don't know what his cash game is like. And from what I saw in the past, I actually thought he was a really good cash game player. Like when I was watching high stakes poker with Phil and Tom and all of them, I thought that Daniel stood out more than like Phil did from a cash game perspective. So I'm gonna stick him right here. Corey Eyring. I feel like when I watch Corey Eyring vlogs these days, is all I'm seeing is him get 2 fire trucks and then just put in the money with ace deuce off. And I don't think that's... I think it's a great direction of where poker is heading with the fire trucks games, the Nick games. I don't think it's how it's meant to be played. I just feel like he's playing poker just to get 3 fire trucks sometimes. I don't know. It doesn't look like the greatest watch, and sometimes he just makes the most beluga punts. And I think he's going to land himself at the end of C tier. I wish to see him in like a more regular deep stack cash game setting more often. Maybe just like at a 5-10 in a casino. Like no lights, no camera, just him playing some cards and see what happens. For right now, he's going to go right behind Brad and Frankie. That looks about right. Sam Queso, I like Sam's game. I think it's great. I think he puts out really good vlogs. I don't think he's like super crusher. Like he's obviously not going up here. And I don't think he's better than Nemi or Ryan. He's somewhere in this. he's somewhere right in here. I think he deserves to go here. I don't think he's better than Brad, and I don't think I think Corey's just slightly worse than him because Sam doesn't punt as much from what I can tell. That's where I'm going to land him. All right, now on to two-card Tito. And this is where I think the new generation of poker goats is going to come from, including me. I think there was this wavelength of poker in the years. Obviously, I can't say for certain because I wasn't back there. But I think GTO got introduced, and Brad Owen's generation just like grabbed it by the neck and just held on to it, and it's just eating it every day. Just I love GTO. And then before we jumped the gun, Garrett came along and it was like, nerds don't need GTO. Let's just exploit our opponents. And that's where this guy comes in. And then I think Tito's generation is the perfect mix. They got to see both come through the ecosystem. They got to see these GTO gods, and they got to see these just exploitative street poker nerds. And I feel like Tito is the perfect mix. Not to glaze. Don't get me wrong here. But I think he's really good. I got to clash with him online a ton. He's obviously beating the game. I think he might bum hunt a little hard, but who doesn't in online poker? I'm going to put Mr. Tito. Oh, man. I don't think I can put him above Charlie. Right there. I think that's oh, okay, hold up. I think we might need some adjusting. I think he needs to go here. This looks better to me. I think Tito is better than Hungry Horse, in my opinion. Just like, I value the online volume so much. Like, if you're putting an online volume and winning, that is difficult. That is a really hard thing to do, and he seems to be doing it. So, kudos. You get A tier now. The GOAT. Garrett Adelstein. I don't know. Obviously, going in S tier, it's just where do we want to put him? For a while, I said Garrett is my cash game GOAT. No one is better than Garrett. And then I don't know who said it, but it was like, when have you seen Garrett play in a tough lineup? When have you seen Garrett like actually battle against some like really good poker players? And I was like, like he's just battling like these bad regs in the Bay Area over and over again. Like, he's never been put in a difficult lineup, and that kind of changed my perspective on him a little bit. Like why I value Patrick more, because Patrick's just going and playing these Asian nerds. Obviously, some of them are like not crushers, like huge beluga whales from I don't know where they get all their money. But I think Patrick is playing in tougher lineups more often than Garrett is. So it actually bumps Garrett down to the end of S tier for me. I'm sad to say it, but that's where he's got to go. Next, we're going Sethi Poker. He's going in the land of the vloggers. This is what I'm calling C tier. Look, vlogger land. He's going to the land of the vloggers. They're just kind of all drooling out the same thing. Pot controlled turns. I'm gonna 3-bet this hand. This board favors my range. All of that vlogger lingo that you've had to indulge the last 5 years. He just fits perfectly in here. Where does he land? He's right where Sam Queso is. Like, if I could stack them right on top of each other, chef's kiss. So it doesn't matter where I put him in front or behind him. I'm going to put him behind for right now. I think this looks good so far. Let me know what you would do with Vloggerland. And is Ryan supposed to go to Vloggerland? I don't know. We'll see. Moving on to Alan Keating. I know exactly where I'm putting Alan right now. And I'm putting him at right behind Nick Airball. Right here. This is where Alan fits. Because Alan understands node locking. He understands recreationals. He understands greed. He understands feelings in poker, but he doesn't really understand, sadly, the GTO part of it. I mean, he probably does. He just doesn't want to, right? He wants to play 80% of cards when he plays his poker sessions. I think Alan's very smart, and he presents himself like he knows less about poker than he really does, in my opinion. I think this is great for him. I think maybe a part of this list as well is like being able to get into good games. Like, if you put Alan in the same game, online games that 2-card Tito is playing, Alan would be losing at 40 big blinds per 100, obviously. But since he's playing in these great games, like, he looks like a better poker player, right? So, like, if you put Tito in the games that Alan was playing, and, like, shit, dude, Tito's the GOAT. Same thing with, like, Doug. If you put Doug in the games, I guess Doug does get to play in those games. But you get what I'm saying. He might look a little better than he actually is, but I think he fits perfectly right here. Mickey. We're gonna figure out where Mickey belongs in this lineup. And oh geez, Mickey might be better than Greg. After hearing Greg slop on Solve for Why, I'm convinced that less is more. So Mickey having less thoughts in his brain is therefore helping him be a better poker player than Greg. Because Mickey's just like, oh, my opponent checked, I bet big, he fold. While Greg's sitting there like, well, if the pot size is 16 big blinds, like, I think Mickey's small brain is helping him to be a better poker player than Greg is. Anyways, I think that's a great spot for him. Eric, I'm gonna put Eric right here. And the only way up, I think Eric's better than D tier, but D tier honestly looks a little bit lonely, and D tier might just become like players I wouldn't want to sit with at a cash game. I think that's what's happening right now. Eric's the type of dude that like puts off like he's just like this gambling guy, like he's here for the action, but Eric just always has it. Like you know that guy in your casino. Like, oh, we're going to gamble. Like, yo, what's up, John? What's up, Dave? Like, yo, let's gamble. Let's put some cards on the table. But they always just have it. Like, you're not gambling, you just have it all the time. That's what I think about Eric. On to the next one. We're going to go with the Global Brothers. And Global Brothers are going to... Just kidding. I actually don't think they're F tier. They're not that bad. They just punt so hard all the time. Like, if you put the Global Brothers in front of a solver, they'll probably, like, maneuver their way around it a little bit. It seems like they've studied. They post on their storyline, they're like, yo, put in 2 hours study, about to go hit the casino for, like, 10 hours... and play these billionaire regs in San Diego, whatever. But dude, I like put the hands on the screen. Like I'm playing some online hands with these dudes, and they're just punting, they're dumping. They look like the spot in the online game. So with that being said, I almost want to put them right here, but I think they're better than Rampage, and I think they're gonna go in the bottom of Loggerland. I think they're kind of what's happening with Corey. Like they're low key the spot at the cash game. No one wants to say it, but they're low key the spot. Last and not least is your boy Hen Doggy. So where would I put Hen Doggy on this list? Look, this is where I might hurt some feelings, okay? Because I'm confident in myself. I think I know ball. I think I'm better than Brad Owen. I think I'm better than Brad. I think I'm better than Frankie when it comes to cash games. Frankie might be a better tournament player than me. Frankie folded ace king preflop to a 3-bet in a tournament. He's better than me in tournaments. If anyone saw that, that was crazy. It went open 3-bet. He just folded ace king off like 20 big blinds. I will never understand. Ryan, I think I'm better than Ryan in a cash game. I think I'm landing somewhere around Nemi. I think I'm about as good as Nemi in cash games. I don't think I'm up here. I'm not as good as Bart. I'm not as good as Tito. I'm not as good as Hungry Horse. Nick Airball, just because I'm so afraid of playing him, probably means I'm not as good as him. And same thing with Alan Keating. I just wouldn't want to sit on the felt with Alan Keating. I don't want him to run a bluff with 5 high, and I have to make a decision with second pair. Like, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna say I'm better than Andrew Nemi. Let me know in the comments where you'd put me. That's all I got for you. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.